into that space that's between me and them. I'll allow them to really search and have a look at who they are as a person without me putting my stuff on it. Because I always wanted to be a trauma, I always wanted to work in trauma and addiction. But I always stopped myself because I was like, hang on a minute, I have a lot of healing to do. And if I go into this work and I've not healed who I am as a person, and I don't have a good solid understanding of who I am and what keeps me well, how am I ever going to manage to support other people to find that if I've not found it myself? So it's only been in the last, I'd say, 6 or 7 years. I mean, I'm 50 this year, so it took me till I was 44 to really and it was just the year before I opened Hydroease that I started working in trauma and addiction fully, about 18 months, because I now know that, I've worked in homelessness and I've done a lot of healing there. I've worked with young people in the care system, I've done a lot of healing there. I've done my own therapies, I've done my own, trainings, and every model and every theory that I've studied, I have then had a practitioner work with me on. So working through my stuff. So when I'm sitting in a room with someone and they're sitting over from me and they don't know how to verbalise and they don't know what to say, I know that feeling. I have been that person. I have sat in that chair. And I think the more people that are in this space that, and not that I'm saying, you can go off to university and study and do all these different things and you'll have a really good grasp of things, but it comes back to knowledge creates awareness, true understanding creates insight. And I think in terms of trauma work, that insight is invaluable when you're working with people.
Absolutely. Like you've ticked so many things that I wanted to speak about there, and touched on so many vital aspects, particularly around the person-centered approach. It needs to be tailored, it needs to be individual to that one person, and it's taking every person as they are when they come in, not judging them, holding that space. And I really like that psychological vomit. That's a nice image for me. So I've not heard that before, but I really like that. I'm definitely taking that forward. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Oh, this is from Viv and I will be stealing it. So no, that's brilliant. Thank you. And yeah, obviously we've been talking about our own traumas and life experiences and things, but I think, as you say, there is real value in having that lived experience and that deeper understanding. It gives you so many more layers of depth, to understand what somebody's going through and how you can be feeling so many juxtaposing, if I could actually even say the word, so many juxtaposing emotions and feelings and thoughts all at the same time in one person. And a lot of that is, one of the things that I studied when I was in university was group psychology, and why do we become a different person depending on who we're in front of, and why does it take a cohort of maybe 6 or 7 people, if one person has an idea and they get people whose cognitive diversity is very limited and they think similar to you can get them to pretty much agree with anything from you. Yep. And then I kind of thought, hang on a minute, I'm a group of people and the one thing they all have in common is me. And so sometimes, I remember at one point pretending to faint, right? This was when I was probably about, 32 or something, and I wasn't getting my own way. I wasn't getting what I wanted, and I was feeling a bit unwell, and I wanted somebody to look after me, and my needs weren't being met. So I stood up and I went, I feel really lightheaded, and I pretended to faint, right? And I remember lying on the floor going, right, now I'll get what I want. Now somebody will help me. And then I thought, but when I look back on that now, and I think, that was the 5-year-old me, 6-year-old me, who used to wet herself when her mum came near her. And as soon as her mum raised her voice, she would wet herself, because the first time she'd done it, her mum never smacked her bum. So I was like, wow, this is a real insight for me. So, and then I would be, at the point of an argument. And when I was a kid, if my mum shouted at me, I would just shout back and swear and go out and slam the door. Whether I was right, wrong or indifferent, it got me out of the situation. So as an adult,
when I felt I was being pushed and my back was against the wall, I would just be like, "Wah!" And I would go forward and swear and shout and walk away and slam doors. And it was a strategy that I had adopted as a version of me to get my needs met. And then I was kind of going, hang on a minute, how about I appoint a CEO of me, and that CEO is the best version of me that I can see at that moment in time. So if I appoint a CEO of me that gets voted in every year by all these other versions, and now I find that through, and I mean this work takes years. Like, I've been working at this since 1999, and I still use that approach. I still, and I still find, like, I remember coming in one day, and this was around 2008, something like that. So my daughter was like 11. And Hayley came in from school, and she walked in, and it's me. She does the same as me. It's me. She would walk in, she dropped her bag at the bottom of the stairs, took her jacket off as she's running up the stairs, left the jacket on the stairs, ran straight into her bedroom, took her school clothes off, put her plain clothes on, ran back down the stairs again, left her school shoes at the bottom of the stairs, put on her trainers, and out to the park. And I remember coming out the kitchen, and I was like, she's left that bag at the bottom of the stairs and that jacket. She thinks I'm a bloody slave. Well, I'll tell you what, when she comes back in here, and then I walked up the stairs, and there's her clothes, and picked up, and in my head I'm telling myself, she is just using me. She's taken me for granted. Who does she think I am? I'm a mug, blah, blah. And now I look back and I think, no way. Hayley never walked in and went, ha, I'll leave this lying here, the slave will get in, and I'll leave that there. No, she came in and went, yes, school's finished, right, get upstairs, get my clothes on, get myself changed, get back down the stairs, get to the park, meet my friends. I never even crossed her mind, but I was able to crucify myself with the thought that she thought nothing of me. So I started looking back on things like that and thinking, wow, that is. So even now when I come home, and it happened, I'll come home, I'll have been working all day. I only work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but sometimes I can be on till 7 o'clock at night. And I'll come in, and my husband's at home already, and he's lying on the couch with his feet up, reading the bike magazine. And I think, and the first thing that's in my head is like, he's not even made dinner. I've been working all day, and he's not even made. And then there's another voice that's like, Viv, he's been working all day too. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but he's home first. You'd think he would. No, Viv. He's entitled to. But it's the conversations that you have in your head. I think, when you can get to that point where you see these conversations, you understand these conversations. If you're having them quite frequently, then it's time to, go for a massage, or I go for a float. So I would float at least once a week, unless I'm busy, and then it's twice. Because the busier I am, the more I have going on in my mind, the more time I need to just chill. The more time I need to say, do you know what, no chocolate this week, no sugar this week, no processed foods this week. Make sure you're drinking your 2 litres of water. Make sure you're having your 8 hours sleep every night. Because I didn't get to this age by not learning me. Because I'm an expert in me. Of all the things I know, I'm an expert in me. And I never ever thought I would get to this stage, because I thought I would constantly be driven by this unknown force, this darkness within me that just came and done all these things, and then I would sit back and go, oh, can't believe I've done that. I'm never drinking again, that's it, I'm not drinking. And then I've drank a whole bottle of Jack Daniels and I've snorted 2 bags of Coke. It doesn't just happen like that. There's a series of decisions that are in between that. And I think once I mastered that, it really just got me. And as I say, it's been a good, I like, drug wise, I've not taken anything for over 11 years now. But I still,
congratulations, that's amazing.
Oh, thank you. But I still, if I'll still drink. I stopped drinking for a while, and then I thought, maybe I am in control of this stuff. I've managed to control lots of other things, and when you're no longer tempted by something, temptation's not a thing. And I'm no longer I'm not running away from me anymore. I'm quite, I'm kind of with my arms out at the end of the day going, come in, big lad, give me a hug. And I'm just kinder to me. I just know that I know the things that I'm capable of. I know what I can do. I know that when I feel any of the old emotions or anything that's kind of rising within me, I welcome it. and I'm kind of like, right, bring it in. What is this about? Where's this came from? Whose needs need met? What? And again, I visualise that CEO, I visualise that boardroom, I visualise that version of me being called into the, into the management office to just be nurtured and to be heard. Because I think what happens in vulnerability is we sit in the darkness and the silence of our own fear. And if it's never verbalised and never heard, and we snuff it out ourselves personally inside, then how are we ever meant to heal? So yeah, I have lots of different strategies that work for me. And again, as you say, it's finding that individual approach that works for you.
No, absolutely. And thank you again, for sharing all of that. And thank you for those great top tips. That's excellent. I'm definitely going to adopt that CEO one. That's and the visualization. No, that's because one of the things that I've been struggling with recently, or not struggling with, should I say, but I've been working on is trying to break sort of that emotional eating cycle. And I've been quite good, I've lost 3.5 stone, so I'm doing all right.
You've done great. You're looking amazing.
Thank you. I still look in the mirror and go, right, get rid of these 5 chins, but
not at all.
It's been great for me in terms of it's taken that time to learn about myself and to actually deconstruct where has that actually come from.
Yeah.
Why am I using it as a tool or as an aid? Why am I trying to eat my feelings, essentially? Because for me, it doesn't matter if I'm sad, happy, excited, nervous, no matter what it is, my reaction is I want to eat something. So,
That's it.
So, for me, it's been really, really beneficial to actually sit back and look at, right, well, why am I actually doing that? What little choices and little steps did I make that meant I went from the bed or the sofa to the fridge and thought that was the right choice to make? Why did I decide that I needed Aaron to go to the shop and get me that, or that was the end of the world,
That's it. Absolutely.
And it's been so helpful, for me to understand that I was using it. I was using food as a comfort, as blanket. I was using it as something. Well, I had the biggest realisation the other day. I've only actually said it to Aaron, so maybe this could be my public announcement. So this is me out. You've made me want to talk, Vivian. I love that this will probably just be turned into a therapy session. Everyone's going, what are they talking about? So we don't care about that, Katie. Talk about something decent. So no, I said to him, as a result, I've spoken to you about this before, obviously being assaulted in university. And that was when I was 22. It was after that event that I then got diagnosed with anxiety. So I was already had a diagnosis of depression. That triggered the anxiety. And then meant, I wasn't able to go out the house for months at a time, wasn't able to speak to anybody, couldn't even answer the phone. Nothing, I didn't even recognise myself, compared to now. And I didn't recognise myself at the time either. That was the thing. It was almost like I couldn't face who I was at that moment. So there was 2 of me. It felt like there was 2 of me living in my body and my brain.
Yeah.
The one that was stuck and the one that was like, come on, you need to just keep going, just survive, till the next day. But anyway, through looking back at that, I realised, right, so when I got diagnosed with depression and put on antidepressants when I was 17, I put on 4 stone in 4 months, which is, a big increase.
Yeah.
And at that time, I got put on the antidepressants. Then my parents split up the month afterwards. Then I was trying to do my A-levels in the January. I had my 18th birthday. It was all these things that were coming at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I'd attach meaning in my head to right, when bad things happen, you can go to the food then. Because I was using it almost like the antidepressants as an excuse, because it was like, oh, well, they've made me eat more because it's made me hungry. It's increased my appetite. So it was almost like giving myself permission that it was okay. Well, no, it's all right because that's just a side effect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, that age, you haven't really, got any, frame of reference. I've been on any of them before. And, I just thought, right, okay, we'll see how it goes. As I say, I ended up putting on the 4 stone in 4 months. But then later on, I wasn't able to shift it. Then I went to university. sort of stayed about the same, maybe put on about a stone or so. Most people do.